So welcome everybody. My name is Phoenix Rising Star and welcome to our Hathor Activation. This is a meditation that will be helping you to reach your highest destiny, no matter what that highest destiny is. You may or may not have an idea what that is, and this may just propel you a little further along your path. The Hathors are 5th to 12th dimensional beings, and they're just really high consciousness, high wisdom, beings that really have a life of service and a deep desire to help those beings on our planet that resonate with what they do. And so mostly they work with teachers, but that's not all that they work with. They resonate well with teachers because they are teachers themselves. So let me just give you a little bit of a background about how I came to meet with the Hathors and then all the delightful synchronicities that have brought us forward to today. And then we'll get started on our activation so that you can really receive all of the goodies that you came here to receive. And I want to thank you for being a part of this and for putting your energy into this, because this helps this whole activation to be more powerful. And it doesn't matter if you're listening to this live or recorded. Time is not linear, so your energy is needed to help this reach as many people as possible, because of course within our sphere of influence, as we raise our vibration through what we're doing tonight, it's going out to everybody around us, which is going to impact a larger circle of people. So what you're doing tonight is making a difference in our world and in our universe. And for this, I am very grateful. I'm also very grateful to the Hathors for initiating this, because honestly, I would not have thought about doing it this way and hadn't thought about it doing it this way, but they've been very instrumental in many things that I have done and many things that I've learned. And I think they will continue to be so instrumental in your lives now that you're opening up the channel of that possibility. So again, my name is Phoenix Rising Star. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me start back in, let's see, 2012 was, some of you might have heard of Tom Kenyon, who's a sound healer. And he's amazing. He can just translate what comes through him into amazing sounds through his voice. He has a 4-octave range voice, but he also plays Tibetan bowls and crystal bowls and, does rattles and all kinds of things. So he's basically a channel. He's also a psychotherapist. So he was not real happy about being asked to channel because he really thought that was too woo-woo, and he struggled with that for a long time. So it took him a while to come out to the world as a channeler, but once he did, people so resonated with the way that he channeled vibrations that he just has followings. I mean, he traditionally has over 500 people in his workshops, right? That's a lot of people to be in meditation all at once, but he manages it just fine. So in 2012, Leon, my partner, and I went to his workshop, and it was the first time we'd ever gone to a Tom Kenyon workshop live. And we just thought, well, 2012, we better do this. And it was in November. And it was very just high level, high vibrational. And I just kept getting more and more expanded as we were listening to every one of the meditations. But when we got to the very last meditation, that was the one that was so instrumental for me. He asked us to go to our future self, who had all the answers, and ask for a message. And I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. I mean, I don't think anybody knew what was going to happen. But when I did this in meditation, I saw my future self, who was dressed exactly the way I was dressed at that moment. And she looked both older and younger at the same time, which told me again that time was not linear. The minute we made eye contact in my meditation, she dropped to the ground. She removed a center stone from the middle of a medicine wheel, and she began digging a hole where that stone had been. And then she sang into it. And in the background, I'm hearing this vaguely familiar music. So all of this is going on all at once. And then she stands up and she says, "I will do anything to heal this planet." And her hands are just beet red. And we make eye contact, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't even know what this is about. And she does this, then she proceeds to do this several times to get my attention so that I would say, okay, I get it. But I didn't feel like I got it. I didn't understand what the message was. I just knew that I needed to meditate on it more. So that was, so as I was leaving the meditation hall, this woman came up to me and she said, you know, I do soul songs. I just hear people's soul songs and I sing them to them. So do you mind if I sing you your soul song? And I said, no, that would be fine. And so the only refrain she could sing was, Phoenix, pick up a red stone from your garden and put it on your altar. And I'm like, what? This is so interesting. And afterwards, she was apologizing because she said, I usually have a whole lot more information for people, but that's the only refrain I was supposed to tell you. And I said, that's fine. I think it's probably tied in with my meditation, and I'm just going to have to meditate some more on this. So that was just kind of like a lot of convoluted thinking there. So we went home, and that first night, my head was just spinning, and I couldn't make sense out of anything. So I just thought, okay, angels, you've got to help me. So I kind of fell into this twilight zone, and then I heard two tones. I heard a crystal bowl and I heard a meditation bowl, and then I fell into this really deep state of sleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I realized what that background music was that I had been hearing as my future self had been digging this hole after moving the red stone out of the way, and she was digging a hole and singing into the hole. And I thought, oh, you know what? I think you even have that. So I dug through my stuff, and yes, I had it. It's called the Debby Prayer, and it's all sung in Sanskrit, and it's basically a prayer to Mother Earth is what it is. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. I wonder if there's a translation of it. So I'm looking online and I find a translation of it, and I print it off, and I notice that it's by Elizabeth Redstone. So now I'm like, oh my goodness, the synchronicities, here we go again. So I was so glad I printed it off, because the next day when I went back to that site, it was gone. And when I did a search for the Debby Prayer translation, that was gone. I couldn't find anything anywhere on the internet about the Debby Prayer. I thought, okay, well, that was meant to be. It was at that point that the Hathors started talking to me. Now that they had my attention, they started really talking to me, and they helped me by handing me basically a syllabus for a course called the Light Wheel. It's activating a shamanic light wheel, but it's based on a medicine wheel, just like how I saw my future self. And it's based on being in that state of unconditional love and programming a light wheel, which has this permanent beam of love and light that exists up into the ethers, and it connects with light wheels all over the place. I mean, they're not just on this planet, but they're in the universe. Some of them are really, really ancient, because apparently generations have been doing this for a very long time, but it becomes lost knowledge. So then the Hathors or someone else brings it back and teaches somebody else how to do it, because these permanent beams of love and light are programmable for the highest level of consciousness. And then once they're programmed with highest level of consciousness, then they interact with all the other light wheels everywhere in the universe. And they act as like hairs, you know, they're tentacles, they're vibrating out, and they're sending out these positive programs. And so I've been teaching this then for now 7 years. I haven't done one yet in 2019, but in 2018, I was doing one in the fall. Jump to the next synchronicity. So I'm doing this in, I think it was October in Sedona. And I end up at the very last meditation telling them a story that I haven't told anybody. And this story actually happened in 2005. And it just felt like it was the right time to bring out this story, although I'd never anticipated ever talking about it, because it was really private, and it was so cutting edge woo-woo that I wasn't sure anybody would ever believe me. So, but it just felt like the right time and the right moment. And this was the right audience to hear it, because they didn't stone me. They didn't run me out of town. It was all perfect. But so what happened in 2005 is I was invited in my meditations. I was invited to be part of a group. And there were 12 of us from all different places in the universe. There were 3 of us from this planet, but the rest were from different star systems and different planets. And we were all meeting together at a prearranged date and time once a month to determine the programming for the new Earth. So the new Earth is a parallel Earth to ours, but it's going to be higher in vibration and higher in consciousness. And it's not to repeat the same old mistakes that we're making with this one. It's to go beyond where we are, because we've limited ourselves here. We've made a lot of mistakes, and we've done a lot of things that are making this a harder place to be. And the Creator really wants to see Earth evolve beyond where we are now. So our whole point as a group was to come up with a programming that would help that planet sustain itself and sustain all life in the most positive, high-level way possible. So through our meditations for the next 9 months, birthing a new planet, we came up with the plants were already in place. That's a no-brainer. The animals were starting to arrive, but the people hadn't arrived yet. And so the 3 goals that we came up with are that in order for people to go there, they need to be filled with unconditional love. They need to have a direct connection to their higher self and act from that. And they need to revere all life. So those were the 3 goals that we collectively came up with. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody's going to have achieved that completely, but you have to be well on your way in order to be able to migrate over to that parallel Earth. So you can see why I'm in 2005. I mean, even, as advanced as that was kind of cutting edge and out there, and I hadn't really talked about it until this group in 2018. Well, 2 weeks after I talk about it, here we are at Tom Kenyon. We hadn't been there since 2012, and now we're at Tom Kenyon, and his second to his last meditation, he all of a sudden says, well, the Hathors have come in, and they're talking about something I've never heard of before, which is the new Earth. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And he says, and they're saying that there are people that will consciously or unconsciously begin to migrate over to this. He said, I've never heard of this before. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling like, the spotlight must be on me. My face is beet red. I'm crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And he says, so they would like to sing a song to all of you here and to the children of the new Earth, because in some way, shape, or form, you're either involved in the new Earth, or your children will be involved in the new Earth, or you'll be, your next evolution will be involved with the new Earth in some way, or you wouldn't be here, and they wouldn't want to do this. So they're going to sing you a song that they normally sing to their children to help them reach their highest destiny. And that's what his second to the last meditation was all about. Well, I'm telling you, that was just next to profound. And so it was right after that, the Hathors come back and they say, okay, all right, now we need to continue what was started. And it's really time to start raising the vibrations of those who are intending to go over first. There are like 3 waves. There's the way showers. They're the ones whose vibrations are raising enough and are in alignment with those 3 goals that they can go over first. And then they will be there to greet the next wave who is raising their vibration in order to come over and have met, the goals. And then there's going to be the ones who are still here who are helping everybody to raise their vibration. And eventually they'll migrate over too. But time is of an essence. We got to get people ready here, and we don't have a lot of time. So here's what we want you to do. They said you have 11 students. So together with you, that would make 12 people. Again, this magic number of 12. That would make 12 of you that we're asking you to channel your own self-expression to high-level concepts we're going to give you. And this is a monthly thing, and we want you to post this so it will start reaching people so that they can begin raising their vibration merely by interacting with a concept that we're giving you and by the ideas that you're giving them of your self-expression. So we started that in January. Actually, I think we might have started our first meeting in December, but we started in January. And so the concepts have been like, this month is peace, and last month was beauty, and in the past we've had love and gratitude. And it's those high level concepts that the 12 of us have been channeling our self-expressions. So you'll see things on the joytoourworld.space. You'll see things like videos and slideshows and songs and poetry and pictures and prose and meditations. I mean, we all do it differently. which is perfect because then there's something for everybody who's interacting with us. And we've all commented that the more we're interacting with these high-level consciousness words and concepts, the more we're seeing them all around us, and the more it's raising our vibration. Well, in our last monthly meeting, the Hathors said, okay, we got to really amp this up because time is of the essence, and we really need to interact with more people and help them raise their vibration. We got to get going here, people. So they asked that we open this activation up to as many people as possible. So thank you for those of you that are live and those of you listening to the recording. Thank you for being part of this, so that our vibration will raise, everybody connected to us, their vibration will raise, and it just continues, in that pool, if you will, the pool of possibilities that just keeps spreading and spreading, so that if this is in alignment for you to be a part of the new earth, if you are a way shower, your vibration needs to come up really high, really quickly. And maybe you're already there. Maybe you're just needing a nudge. Or if you're the person who's meant to stay here to help the people raise their vibration, then you need to be in that good space so you can help others. And if you're going to be staying longer to help even more people, then continue to raise your vibration so you can make a difference. And if you're not sure if that's who you are or if that's what you're meant to do, just know that whatever is in alignment for your highest good and healing and for your highest destiny, that's what will get activated tonight. So it doesn't matter totally if the new earth is not in your sphere of possibilities at this time. Whatever is for your highest vibrational reality, that's what will happen for you. Now, is it going to be an instant activation? Probably not. We're in a third dimensional body here, and it's pretty dense, and it takes a while to raise the vibration. So that's why we're going to continue this on a monthly basis, because the more you do this, the faster your vibration is going to raise, the faster your consciousness is going to raise. And what will that do for you? Well, when you are in a higher consciousness, higher vibrational level, you manifest faster, especially things that are more in alignment with your heart and soul. And you tend to manifest more of what you're choosing and less of what you're not, because you've got to clear out that old stuff, or you can't get to that next level of vibration and consciousness. So you become a better manifester. Life becomes easier, more graceful, more loving, more kind. You begin attracting more experiences like that to yourself. You become more interactive with kind, loving people. You find more ways to share and to be of service, no matter what your calling is. Life is a better place when we can raise that vibration. So this is going to help you no matter what. So something to be aware of, though. As we begin to raise our vibration and our consciousness, what happens? Well, whatever is in the way of us living at that level is going to start percolating up. And this can look like old patterns you thought you'd put to bed or you thought you'd healed, maybe some unexplained anger or unexplained tears or fears, things that just don't feel like you and you don't know what's wrong. It's just old stuff. So I say that because we deal with old stuff all the time if you're one of my students or if you've worked with me in any way. But if you haven't had that opportunity, look to whoever has invited you to join here tonight and see if maybe amongst those people, are there some healers that can help you heal some old stuff? Because that's all it's asking for. It's just coming up so you heal it. It's coming up so you recognize it and you go, you know what? I'm done with that. Thank you for coming up, but I'm done with you. And then you have someone who can support you in releasing that. That's really the most important thing. Now, it's possible that your vibration is already so high that you can just say, I choose to just let that go. I'm done with that. And that may be enough for you, but it may not be. You may need some more deeper cellular memory work. There's lots of people out there. And if you don't know anybody, then just send me a private message on Facebook and I'll be happy to refer some people to you that can help you. Because you don't need to be stuck in old stuff. Nobody needs that. It's only going to keep you limited. And we are trying to reach our highest destiny. So that means we have to keep raising our vibration in order to get there. It's not a scary thing. It's a joyful, loving, wonderful way of being. And that's what we're choosing for everybody. So please ask for help if you need it. And if you don't need it, just choose to release whatever comes up because you don't need it, right? You don't need something in your way. Okay. That's the background. Now, here's what we're doing tonight. I just want you to know it's really already started. And I think actually it started, oh gosh, probably when we put out the invitation. But I've really been feeling the energy for the last 48 hours. And in fact, if you talk to some of the people I've been working with lately, they'll say, oh yeah, she's out of it. She's out of it. So how do you know when you're getting an activation? Well, it is different for different people. And so for me, I go through two different phases. One is extremely sleepy, where I just feel like I can barely hold up my head. I can barely keep my eyes open. That's kind of the first phase. And the second phase is that I get really like excited and I talk really fast, just kind of like now. And you may find yourself in one of those phases as well throughout any type of the activations that we're going to be doing for the next 6 months. Another way you can tell if you're in an activation is sometimes you'll have changes in pressure in your body. Like you'll feel sometimes a pressure in your head, or you'll feel something in your shoulders or your back, or some place that usually aches or a place that doesn't ache or whatever. So you could feel changes in pressure. You could also feel changes in temperature. People report getting really hot during activations, and people report getting very cold during activations. So you can see it just hits people differently. Sometimes there'll be a few angel tears, what we would just call a release of moisture from your eyes. And there's nothing to be attached to about it. It's just a release, and it's just making room for more of the high vibrations that are coming in for you. Boy, there's probably a million other ways in which you can feel an activation, but anything that is not your normal way of sitting and listening to something would, if it's not your normal thing, then it's probably part of the activation. All I ask is don't attach to it. It's not a big deal. It's just a body reaction. That's all you're having is a body reaction. Again, you may need to do some things, like maybe afterwards drink some hot tea if you got cold, or put on some more layers if you get cold. Even if you're in the desert, sometimes I get really cold. If you're really hot, maybe you have to just go take a cool shower, or jump in the water or something like that in order to cool off. Make sure you ground out by walking around outside, getting close to nature. If you have a like qigong or tai chi exercise you can do that will help you get back in your body, that's really helpful. Maybe listening to music, whatever it is, find what works for you to help you come back and integrate in your body, because that's really important. One of the things I want to mention about what we're doing tonight, and we will get to the meditation soon, I promise you, it's just that with so many people that I don't know on this call, I wanted to make sure I covered as much as possible so there are no surprises. So one of the things that I want to mention is during this meditation, first I'll be leading us in some very specific things that I'm going to talk about in a minute. And then I'm going to be opening it up to just silence. And it's during this silence that you are receiving what I would call heart language. Now, heart language, it's definitely taken in through the heart. And it's an expression that comes from high-level beings because they don't need words. It's our linear brain that needs words. But we have learned through our evolution that we can take in the heart language, and at some point we will have the words for what we need when we need them. So during the time when you are receiving, during this silent time of receiving, you may have impressions of things. You may be very visual and you may see things. You may hear things. You may feel things like the heat, pressure, whatever. Or you may just have this knowing without knowing how you know. All of those are just examples of heart language, right? But it doesn't mean that they're going to be accompanied by words. You just know. It's a different level of knowing. And this is the level at which the Hathors operate many times. Now, when I say I've heard them talk, that is after I've interpreted, after the words have risen to my conscious awareness, after enough time, and I know it when I need to know it. And at that point, the brain gets the words so that so that I can act on it. You will have that same reaction at some point. Now, the more you go through these activations, the faster it's going to happen for you, the easier it's going to get, the better it's going to be, the more you just know without knowing how you know, and the easier and better your life is going to get. Because every time you go through an activation, you are raising yourself in consciousness, and that's what happens. You have a richer, better life as a result, no matter what your highest destiny includes. So I just wanted you to be aware of heart language if you've never experienced it before. It's words without words. And it's a really peaceful place. In fact, you will not want to come back when I say, okay, that's enough for now. So here's how we're going to do this in just a few minutes. We are going to do like a 3-part meditation. Well, I suppose integration would be the 4th part. But the first part, I'm going to guide you into this loving state of being, because you have to understand that higher states of consciousness only work with unconditional love. Okay? So we have to do the best we can to get ourselves there. And I can get you there pretty quickly. Now, that doesn't mean that we're all going to be pure love and not have a body anymore. We are still human. So as long as we're still human, we're going to have thoughts that go in and out, and we're going to have unloving thoughts that might come in and out. But for the most part, you're going to feel really that wonderful unconditional love in the way that you can best for now. And we do this with our connection to the divine, no matter how you interpret the word divine. So for some people, it's angels. For some people, it's God. But for others, it's like, no, that's too religious. I can't go there. So source energy, creator, light, love, whatever word, whatever topic or concept you want to inject in there, just make it work for you. It doesn't matter what word you're using, as long as the intention is it's the highest of the highest. That's what we're intending to connect to it with this unconditional love. So I'm going to lead you in that. When I get the message that everybody's in that state to the best of their ability, that's when we're going to invite in the Hathors to be in this heart-to-heart state with us. And their energy is completely different, but it's still really high vibrational and very pure. So they are the only ones who have been invited to attend tonight. Nobody else can come in. I don't mean to be exclusive. I just know that this is going to be, it's going to eliminate any waste of our time. Not that it would be a waste of time to talk to other energies, but we don't have time to talk to other energies. So the Hathors are the only ones invited for tonight. Okay? After you have established that loving connection with them, that's when I'm going to be silent for you to receive your transmission in whatever way is for your highest good and healing. And then after that, when the Hathors tell me that they're complete, I'll tell you that they're complete. And I want you to just spend a few minutes in silence to really integrate what you received. You may not have words. That's okay. You may not have words. You will have words when you need them, but it may not be tonight. And then at that point, the Hathors are saying that because there's so many on the call that we probably won't have time to share a lot, if at all. So what I'm going to encourage you to do, let me put in here okay, so this is my Facebook page. So if there's something you'd like to share, or if you have a question over something that goes on tonight, and I can help you, just post on there. And I'm happy to respond, to support, to offer suggestions, or you can also private message me through Facebook if you would rather do that. Like if it's too intense and too private and you just don't want everybody in the universe to know about it, that's fine. I understand that. So you can use either one of those ways to interact or share or whatever you'd like to do. In the next few days. It doesn't even have to be tomorrow morning, because who knows when that integration is going to feel complete enough for you to even have words for it. But I'm here for you. I'm here to help support you. So I just want you to know that. Okay. Any questions? If you have a question, would you just put it in the chat? That's probably the fastest way. Um, well, it may not be fast if you're not a good typer, but we'll see what happens. I'm just checking on everybody who's on right now. This is really fantastic. Okay, any questions at all? And again, I would say don't lie down during this because we don't want you going to sleep. We want you to be conscious to the point where you can be. Although when it's really, really quiet, you may feel like you just go out, and that's okay. You'll come back. You're having your rich experience if that happens. And a rich experience is a good experience. It's going to get you to that high level faster without your conscious mind getting in the way. So it's all good. All right, so what I normally do during a meditation is I turn off my video because otherwise I talk with my hands and I don't want to distract you. I would encourage you to also turn off your video so that you're not distracting anybody else who might be looking at a bar of faces above you. So go ahead and turn off your video, but I will leave the recording going and obviously have the microphone going. Great. Okie dokie. So just get comfortable. Just allow yourself to get really comfortable in your chair or wherever you are residing. Oh my gosh, and just take a couple of really deep breaths. The first one, you're going to inhale peace and relaxation, and then just gently let that all out as you are releasing anything that's not peace and relaxation. And do the second breath that way too, just inhaling peace and relaxation, and exhaling anything that's not peace and relaxation. You might even find that your shoulders start dropping down a little bit more when you do this. One last time, inhaling peace and relaxation and exhaling anything that's not. Great. And I invite you to just turn your awareness to your energetic heart space. Now, if you've never had an experience, or you're not sure if you've had an experience with your energetic heart space, just know that it's literally behind your literal heart. And it's really a small place. And it's known only to you. You are the only one who knows where this is. And you intuitively know where it is. Nobody has to tell you to find it or how to find it because you just know. So just breathe into that kind of slowly and completely until your breathing slows down and becomes very rhythmical at a rate that works for you. And what happens when we slow our breathing down like this is that the body starts recognizing that we're going to do something different, but it's not like high energy or high excitement. It's more like high vibrational, high consciousness. And so the body will automatically adjust for that by kind of lowering your blood pressure, lowering your blood sugar, kind of relaxing every part of you to a deeper level, even though your awareness may not go to that deeper level just yet. It's like everything else is just kind of making that adjustment in readiness for what is transformational. And the body recognizes this, which is a really beautiful thing. Ah, very good. Oh, very nice. You guys are just pros at this. I can feel that. You're just really doing a great job of getting into a transformational state with the help of your energetic heart space. Good. Now, I invite you to just kind of have in mind your concept of creator. Whatever word, whatever phrase, whatever feeling or sense or knowing that brings up for you, just kind of get it locked in. So we all know who we're talking about, even though you may have a different word or phrase or concept for that. Just lock it into your energetic heart space. That's pretty easy to do. Very good. Excellent. Now we're just going to put that aside, leave it on automatic pilot as I invite you now to begin thinking and feeling and generating feelings of unconditional love to the best of your ability. Now, this is something that you've never felt before, and it's very possible because it's very hard to achieve in this physical form. Then you may be saying, I don't know how to do that. And that's fine, because we've got ways to help you get there. Sometimes just by saying the word love over and over again is enough to lull our brain and our body and our psyche into being in that state. Because where our attention goes, our energy flows. So love, or maybe love and gratitude, that's a really good combination. Maybe just saying it to yourself over and over again. Or maybe you've actually had an experience with a loved one that you really felt like, oh, wow, that was unconditional love. It might have been a two-legged, it might have been a four-legged. So that doesn't matter. We respect all life. And so bring those memories to life if you have them. Or maybe you were out in nature and you felt like that incredible oneness with all life everywhere. And that incredible oneness just really helped you to feel that unconditional love. So just bring that experience to the table and to your energetic heart space. Whatever you need to do to invite in this love and gratitude into your being and to remember it and to really activate it within you, I invite you to do that. And to really feel that deep and profound connection with your creator, whatever words you're using, as you're doing this. It's like a pipeline. Just really feel that, really know that, using all of your senses to really cement this into you. Good. Now, when we meet with the Hathors, you're probably going to be meeting with 1, 2, or 3 of them. It's possible you could have more, but generally it's 1, 2, or 3 in your initial meeting. And so I just want you to use all of your senses to become aware of the presence of the Hathors that are going to be meeting directly with you tonight. This is an individual thing. Every one of you has your specific Hathors that are meeting with just you. This is how they help you to reach your highest destiny. So you open up your inner eyesight to see if you see anything, and it's okay if you don't. And you open up your inner ears to see if you hear them talking, and it's okay if you don't, because we have all these other senses. You open up your inner sense of knowing, which is probably the most common one, but may not be for you. You can open up your inner sense of feel through your skin, through your goosebumps, your truth bumps, through chills, through heat, pressure, cold. And you have so many other senses that haven't been identified. So just open up all your inner senses and see how you interpret the energy of the Hathors that are here to work with just you. They're greeting you with a very loving, open heart. So allow yourself to really zero in on that and sense that. There's nothing to be afraid of here. These are high level, high consciousness, high loving beings who have only your highest good and healing as their intention, as they help you to reach your highest destiny. So allow yourself to feel that wave of love that comes from them that is very reassuring because it's pure. And you would know it if it wasn't the real thing. Allow yourself to receive that and just sit with that. Regardless of if you see them, hear them, or anything else, just feel that love. and their desire to be of service with you tonight. And when you're ready, I invite you to send them love to the best of your ability. All that wonderful unconditional love you were feeling, just hand it to them and know that they are receiving it gratefully. They are opening their hearts, they're taking it in, and they're amplifying it to the nth degree. And then when you are ready, they will hand it back to you, amplified. So now it's coming over you like a wave. And so allow it. Just allow this love to go everywhere and hide no place from this love. And really feel how good that feels. And then, when you're ready, you give it back to them one last time and know that they are receiving it, they're taking it in, and they are amplifying it once more to really raise your vibration when they gift this to you. So when you are ready, feel this amplified wave of love coming all the way over you and just doing what love does, which is whatever you need for your highest good and healing. And from this loving state, I'm going to be very, very quiet as you receive your heart language transmission to help you reach your highest destiny. You may hear words during this time, you may hear tones, you may not hear either, you may just have a vibration, a knowing, a sensing, and it's all perfect no matter what. So I'll be very quiet. And even if you're not sure if you're receiving anything, you are. So just allow that, hold that thought, be in that state of love, and continue to receive whatever is for your highest good and healing. And in the next 30 seconds, this energy will begin to dissipate And it may have already started to for you, which means that it kind of cools off or warms up or just changes. And you don't feel it as strongly. You're not getting the same vibration that you were, and that's normal. That means you got what you needed to get. You did this really, really well. So I want you to sit for just another 2 minutes in silence and allow yourself to integrate it in whatever way you can, in whatever way that means to you. And before you go too deep, just allow yourself to do a check in, remembering what you need to remember and knowing the words will come when you need them, bringing yourself gently back into your body, moving your fingers and toes so that you're really starting to get some sensation and feeling back in the physical, bringing your awareness back into your room so you know where you are, knowing you'll remember everything when you need it, and feeling physically changed, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually changed in ways you have no words for yet, but it's very exciting. Ah, very nice. When you are ready, you can turn your videos back on if you'd like. So I know that you're back in your body if you had them on to begin with. Excellent. Looks like people are coming back in. That's good. Good, good. All right. And it's okay if you're not ready to turn on your videos or you don't want to, this is a deep space and I really want you to just stay in that for as long as you can. So again, you know how to find me if you need support or you just need to process. You can post privately, you can post publicly. And I hope that you check out our site, joytoourworld.space. You do have to put in your email address, make up a password, and the rest is history. I thank you so much for being a part of this and for making a difference in the universe and making a difference in the new earth, whether or not you know if you're called to that or not. You are making a difference. You're helping. You're helping to raise the vibration. And that's what is needed. I look forward to seeing you next month. You'll be receiving an email with that date from me when I send the recording. Namaste, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And have a blessed evening.